On this episode of Cinema Disaster, we're going to be talking about the 1986 film Chopping Mall. And today I'm doing this episode with a migraine, so this should be interesting. What's great about this film is that it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it uses practical effects. It was filmed on a low budget, which I think that they had to get creative with a lot of the effects they used in the film and stuff that happened. And it's one of those movies that all takes place in one place. It's all takes place in a mall. So it's just one of those movies that I think is really fun. The poster art, as you see here, which I think is really cool. It's one of the classic, iconic, I guess, box art pieces from the whole mom and pop video rental era of the 80s, early 90s. But, it kind of looks like your typical slasher 80s film, when in I guess it's more of a horror science fiction film. Basically, I'll give you a rundown. It all takes place at the Plaza, or the Plaza Park, what the fuck is it called? Park Plaza, okay, I had it backwards. It takes place at the Park Plaza Mall. And what happens is there's these company, I guess, that are installed this new high-tech security system, which instead of people, it's going to be like 3 robots, and they're called killbots. So once the mall closes, there's like these, I don't know, there's like these steel doors or that shut, and if no one can get in and no one can get out if you're trapped in there, which is exactly what happens. There are a group of teenagers, and they all decide to party. I guess they all actually work at the mall, except for like 2 of them, I think. And most of them work at the store called Furniture King. So they decide to all stay the night in this store and party all night. I guess they're all coupled up, like it's kind of like a date night type of thing. So you have Kelly Maroney, who you probably know from Night of the Comet, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Not of This Earth. She plays a character by the name of Allison. And she's getting set up on a date with this guy. It's Tony O'Dell's character, Ferdy, who you may actually know from the TV show Head of the Class, or he was in The Karate Kid. Her friend, Susie, who is played by Barbara Crampton, was in From Beyond, Reanimator, Castle Freak, Fraternity Vacation. I mean, she's been in... If you're a horror film fan, you'll know who Barbara Crampton is. You probably know who Kelly Maroney is also. But what it is that Susie is trying to hook Allison up with Ferdy. It's like a blind date. And of course, Allison is very hesitant. She's nervous. So she's questioning whether or not she wants to do this or not. And then, I don't know if she gets talked into it by Susie, or if she just decides what the hell. But anyway, she ends up going to this all-night party in this Furniture King store. Lightning ends up striking the building several times, and it causes like a malfunction to like all of these security robots, and for some reason it causes them to go around killing people. It's a really simple story about killer robots in a mall killing a bunch of like partying teenagers. It's a lot of fun, and it's, I don't know, I was gonna say Dawn of the Dead, but with killer robots, but nah, it's not even that. Like, the story is not even that I guess in depth, but it is really good. It was written by Jim Warnowski and Steve Mitchell. It was directed by Jim Warnowski. You might know him from Sorority House Massacre 2, Not of This Earth, or 976 Evil 2. It was inspired by the 1954 film Gog, if any of you have ever seen that. When I talked to Jim Warnowski, he had told me that he had been working on a television series idea for this film, because I had heard that they were going to do a remake. Somebody else was going to do a remake where instead of it was going to be killer mannequins instead of killer robots, and they were going to be possessed by the dead souls of slaves that worked on the plantation that the mall was built on. But he assured me that that was not happening, which is a good thing. But, you know, he said that wasn't happening, and he was working on a Chopping Mall television series or a web series or of some sort. And I would say last week, Kelly Maroney posted a trailer from YouTube on her Facebook page that was, I guess, almost a teaser, I guess kind of a teaser trailer, and it said Chopping Mall 2020. So I'm assuming that this is that television series he was telling me about, either that or maybe they ended up making a sequel. But I know that Kelly Maroney is returning, and Tony O'Dell is returning to the cast, or returning in this film, which is really awesome. The movie, it's a who's who for cameos and other people. I mentioned Kelly Maroney, Barbara Crampton, Tony O'Dell, Rodney Eastman from Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4. He's uncredited, and I don't even know if you would consider this a cameo, but he plays a thief in the film. At the very beginning, you've got Paul Bartle and Mary Warnov making cameos. You know them. They were both in the Ramones movie Rock and Roll High School, which is a Roger Corman film, and Roger Corman's wife actually produced this film. You also might know Paul Bartle from White Dog, which is a great but like super depressing film. He also played Mr. Froger in National Lampoon's European Vacation. Mary Warnov you probably know from Night of the Comet, Death Race 2000, Terror Visions. She was also in the Suicidal Tendencies video for Institutionalized as well as Possessed Escape. You got Russell Todd, who plays Rick in this film. You might know him from Friday the 13th Part 2. Then you got Dick Miller, who plays a janitor. And Dick Miller, as you know, if there's any Joe Dante fans out there, Joe Dante used Dick Miller for every movie he was ever in, or every movie he ever made. Dick Miller you might know from Gremlins, The Burbs, The Howling, maybe Night of the Comet again. You have Garrett Graham, who's playing like I guess he's like a technical supervisor or something. He was in Child's Play 2, Phantom of the Paradise, that's a creepy fucking movie right there. So I suggest seeing Phantom of the Paradise also. New Terror Visions, he was in that. There's lots of pretty cool death scenes in this. You get to see somebody's head explode, somebody catches on fire. There's a guy in this that dies for looking at a nudie magazine. Okay, one of the killbots is in there and sees him looking at it and totally just like, I guess, crushes his throat. So everybody at this party is having sex except for Allison and Ferdy. So I'm gonna let you guess who survives this film. I guess you could say that's a spoiler alert, but not technically. If you don't know the rules of an 80s slasher-esque film, then it's not a spoiler. But you should have seen this movie by now anyway, so it's your fault, not mine. It's much easier to shift the blame than it is to take responsibility for your own actions. But yeah, that's my suggestion for the day. Check out Chopping Mall. And, you want to see something that's really fun, low budget, doesn't take itself too seriously, and something that's going to be coming up again in 2020. There's going to be another Chopping Mall, either movie or a television series of some sort. So prepare yourself for that. Watch this again if you've already seen it. If you've never seen it, definitely go out and find it. I know that they finally did a proper Blu-ray release of this film. I think Trying to think who did it. I'm looking on my notes here, and I don't make good notes. It's just a bunch of chicken scratch that I can't read afterwards. But yeah, I don't know. I forgot who put the DVD out or Blu-ray. So if you're watching, I don't know. Somebody tell me in the comments. Since I'm being a bad horror host or movie reviewer, whatever the hell I am. I'm being a bad person doing a show out of his bedroom at his dad's house. Yeah, that's what I am. So check out Shopping Mall, and until next time, keep watching.